Welcome to My Child, My Voice Parent Connection Show, everyone. My name is Wendy Gonzalez-Neal.
And I am Shea Mackin. How's everybody?
I know today's Thursday, September 10th. Actually, it's a very special day for me.
It is.
It
Happy
sure is.
Anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Yes, it's my wedding anniversary. Thank you, Shea.
Yes. So we are very close. I'm next month. Same thing, 25 years next month.
Oh, wow. See, look at that.
We're so alike, Wendy.
I know. I'm telling you, we are sisters from another mother.
I know. You know.
But I do have to give a big shout out and thank you to my husband for all that he does for me. If it wasn't for his support and encouragement, I wouldn't be doing a lot of stuff that I'm doing today because the work that we do is hard work. So I love you, honey. Thank you for everything you do. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
But today's also special because we are going to share the Family Circle Project to show those families that are social distancing or homeschooling, to kind of share some projects. Shay's been doing this for quite a while, and she's going to share a very fun project, which was very interesting for me to gather the supplies.
So we were thinking a lot of, if you guys have chosen or it's mandated with your school to be doing distance learning, or you're doing, I read today, like almost the amount of Texans has grown by like 300% of homeschoolers. People, like, it's grown by 300%. That's a lot that have chosen to homeschool. So we figured, especially if you're distance learning, you're not getting as much of the hands-on learning that your kids are used to. And my other thing I do is I am a program ranger with Scouts for almost like coming on 20 years, close to
forever,
for a long time. And so I'm used to doing a lot of stuff hands-on. So I figured, why not? Let's do something hands-on. So we're going to learn today a little bit about pollution, and we're going to do hands-on stuff for pollution. Now, what we're talking about is specifically a little bit Texas, but you can do this for anybody. Not everybody has the same water cycle that Texas has, but people are very similar. Now in Texas, we have underground aquifers.
And what is an aquifer?
An aquifer is like an underground water source. Sometimes they're within caves. It's water trapped within rocks. We have a lot of limestone. We have a lot of silty ground because we used to be underneath an ocean. Most of Texas used to be underneath an ocean.
A lot of people don't know that we were that, or even swampland. So
right,
we have a lot of caves where people come out and come visit our caves, and they're like, "What caves in Texas?"
We have a ton of cave systems,
mm-hmm.
and most of them are not even inhabitable or accessible by people because it's busy having water in it. And that is where 55% of us in Texas get our drinking water, and the water that we use to water our lawn and take a shower and all that good stuff comes from underground, from those underground aquifers.
Right.
And these aquifers that are, again, it's the silt or the kind of caves and rocks that are underneath the ground. They are filled up by rain. They call them recharged. So I grew up in California. Not that I know of, we had aquifers. The way that I got in the Central Valley of California, I got water was by canals. So that was above ground little rivers that people built, right? So here in Texas, we have these aquifers. So I'm going to show you guys some hands-on. Some of the things that you're going to need is ideally crushed ice. Now, if you can't get crushed ice, cubed ice will work. I got mine because I'm in the South. I had to go drive this morning over to Sonic and get crushed ice because my refrigerator.
So you did that. I did the old-fashioned way because, my refrigerator doesn't do crushed ice. I literally put it in a plastic bag, got my squeezable thing and hammered it to make it a crushed ice.
You can totally do that. Only my ice maker doesn't work, and all my ice cube trays were taken by my 21-year-old that moved out. So I had no ice. So I had to go to Sonic and get crushed ice. So crushed ice, and yes, so that is going to, our crushed ice is going to act like our silt or the aquifer itself, or the rock, so that's going to hold the water down under the ground. Okay. And so Wendy, I was telling her, get Topo Chico. That's my very favorite sparkling water. It's made here in Central Texas. Yummy, yummy stuff. But of course, again, Wendy does not have anybody other than her husband living at her house. I still have people living at my house drinking my Topo Chico, so I have no more Topo Chico. So I have to
got to go to La Crosse, HEB.
Yeah, my La Crosse. I had to go to HEB. So y'all, if you're in Texas, know what HEB is. That's our grocery store.
Go to Jovi's or your neighborhood. We have that here, Walmart, you know,
yeah,
but
La Crosse is
very popular here in
Topo
Texas.
Chico. So that's going to be our rainwater to recharge our aquifer.
Yep.
But then above your aquifer, you've got your regular topsoil and the other layers of dirt that are not holding it, but it seeps down through. And of course, because I'm in Texas, I had to get, wait, can you see it?
Bluebell
ice cream.
I have the same one.
See? Because we live in Texas. Now, if you don't live in Texas, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You probably don't have Bluebell unless you're in Colorado. I know that they have in Colorado too. But I'm using vanilla. You can really use any kind of ice cream. But again, you kind of want clear-ish things for this. What we're going to do is do a simulation of an aquifer and seeing how an aquifer works. So first thing you're going to use is a clear glass. So we both have plastic. You could use a glass
itself.
But if you don't have it, but I didn't want to in case I, drop it or something. So I'm going to put in my layers of rock first, which is my ice.
Okay, so we're going to put ice. Okay.
Yep, ice first. So hopefully you can hear. It's kind of off camera, but you'll see it. I'll lift it up. I'm trying not to get it on the computer. All right, I've got my measuring cup. I'm going to put it on the bottom of my cup. I did 1 cup, but that's because I did a tall glass. All right, and I really wanted you to see. So this is your aquifer under the ground. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to add your next layers of dirt or soil or other rock that sits on top of the aquifer.
Now, if you don't have this size cup, if you have a half size, like half this
totally
size,
fine. Just use less ice.
Like, yeah, just use less ice, whether it be a half cup or something like that.
Yep. So I'm going to put in ice cream. And again, I'm using vanilla. I just find it works better for this demonstration, but you can use whatever kind of ice cream. And then you're going to smush it down.
I should have brought my scooper.
Oh, you forgot a scooper? That's funny. Use your hands.
I scooped it in.
All right, so I've got my aquifer or my rocks, right? So this is my rocks that are going to, or cave systems, silty ground that will hold water. And this is the next layer of dirt that you usually are seeing. So if I'm going to dig down and dig a hole to plant a tree, I'm not going to hit an aquifer. They're really, 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 really deep down. Okay. Right. Now, the way we get the water out of the aquifers is either digging a well, or for the most part, we've got our cities and our state that put like a little, like a pump with like almost like a hose. This is a straw, so this is my plastic straw. And I'm gonna drill down to the aquifer so I can access that water. Now, right now, my aquifer is dry. There's no water in my rock aquifer. It has been, a drought maybe.
It's a drought now, which is very common.
And we used up all the water in the aquifer. That's not good, right? Because we're pumping it out. Woo! Jump on it. We're pumping it out so that we can water our grass, we can take a shower, we can drink, all that good stuff. We can make our Dr. Pepper in Waco at the Dr. Pepper plant, but we need water.
Dr. Pepper float.
Ooh, yum.
Sorry,
right,
going off track.
So, one thing that intrigued me, and this is how I learned about aquifers when I moved here 25 years ago, was driving around Austin. I saw these signs that said aquifer recharge zone. And I was like, what does that mean? What are you charging? Like a battery? Like, what do you? I didn't understand what that meant. So recharge zones are in different places around where there's natural rock, natural earth like this. Instead of us putting cement over it in a bunch of buildings in a neighborhood, ideally on those recharge zones, we know that the water goes down into this certain area into an aquifer that we need. We now have a pump to pump the water out. So I'm going to make it rain. Woo! So here is my water. Okay. And you can use still water. You don't have to use sparkling. We just wanted to be fancy.
Yeah.
So here we are in our recharge zone, and it's going to rain. So yay, Texas storms. And it's raining. And I don't know if you can see the rain goes down through that topsoil down into our aquifer. Yay, nice clean water. It gets really filtered in the going through the dirt actually and the rocks. It kind of filters through, and then when it's down here through the limestone, it filters it really well. We have pretty good water and adds a lot of really good minerals that we want. And then we suck it up, but not regular through straw, through the piping system that Texas built.
That's different because mine's lime.
Oh, lime and vanilla. Yum, yum. So I'm going to drink a little bit more just because now I need to drink some.
I got foam.
That out. All right. So now what we're finding is when we pollute the ground by leaving trash, by changing our oil in our cars and dumping the oil like in the storm drain, or using like fertilizer, too much fertilizer that it can't soak into that topsoil where you need it for your crops, and you use too much, then it goes down in through the sewer or down the storm drains down into our aquifers. Another way is just if you have a leaky car, like an oil leak in your car, and then it rains, it takes that oil down. And all through the streets as you're driving, right? You're dripping oil, and so the streets get all nasty. Or paint. I've seen people, dumping paint down the storm drain because they're trying to figure out what to do with it, get rid of it.
Right.
All sorts of things. Or pesticides, too much pesticides then gets down into there. So I've got sprinkles. So these are Christmas sprinkles because that's the kind of sprinkles I have. Honestly, that's the only time I make like sprinkly cookies is at Christmas because I'm too busy every other time. So I'm going to not be a very nice person right now, and I'm going to pollute the top of my ground. Okay, so I'm going to drop all my stuff. I'm going to pollute, and I don't know if you can
pollute mine pretty good.
There you go. There's my pollution sitting on top. And it's not going to stay there, y'all. It's not going to just sit on the top of the ground. What happens is when it rains, guess what? It takes that pollution and it liquefies it, and it sends it down into our aquifers. So here we go. Let's see if it's going to colorize my aquifer with my rain. Rain, rain. We're happy it rains, but ew. Check it out, y'all. It's going down through that top layer into pollution. My aquifer.
Pollution, kids.
And now, unknowingly, I'm going to drink it.
Oh.
It actually
tastes crunchy.
Little sprinkles came up.
I'm like, whew.
With it.
That's different.
Yeah. So this is one way to teach your kids about like water pollution. So here in Texas, we have aquifers. Everybody, no matter what, even if you don't have an aquifer, it's still not a good idea, right? It's going to go down into the earth, and there are critters that live down there. There are things that we use down there that we need. It gets into our lakes and our rivers and all those kinds of things. When we pollute on the ground, it eventually does get into our water, and we drink that. Right. And the animals we share this earth with drink that. So that was one kind of a fun thing to show you all. But because of COVID and we're all wearing all these masks, I wanted to show you guys something that I learned about. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. Share my screen. Oh, and then I got to go scroll up. All right, Wendy, can you see this?
Yep.
Check it out, y'all. So all of us are using masks, hopefully, right? And if we're not using like these fabric ones that you can purchase or, you know, make or whatever with the elastic, and it's cotton fabric that you can wear and then wash, right? A lot of us, these are everywhere. I see them in the grocery store. I see them in the drugstore. I see them in the gas station. Like everywhere are the throwaway masks, which is a really good idea because then it's like, okay, keep a couple in the car. Oops, I need one. Then you have it, or it gets wet or just nasty and you throw it away. Well, what they're finding, because now people all over the world are using these because this COVID cooties is everywhere, y'all. It's not just with us. And they're finding that the birds are getting tangled. Either these are blowing away or you throw it away. You're responsible. You throw it in the trash. Well, guess what? The trash, I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen trash spill out of the trash can or the trash truck as it's driving, or, you know, at the dump, it's there. Birds are going to the dump to get, you know, food or find things or whatever. So these masks, what is happening is it's getting tangled around our animals. And so here's a couple images of, here's a bird that passed away. It got tangled around its neck and its wing. And then here's another one. A lot of our seabirds, or our water birds, our waterfowl, it's getting into our water, our masks, which, hello, not a great thing. And it's getting in their little feet, and then, you know, they can't do what they need to do to survive.
So yeah.
So what I'm hearing is the way to fix that, easy. Tear it off, break it. Now it doesn't have that end done, and you can throw these pieces away. And now this is not going to get tangled in a critter or an animal. So, you know, just a little couple things that I wanted to, the thing that I learned back as a kid, I don't know, when this started, junior high or high school, that I started hearing about those, you know, the plastic around.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Pack of cans is to cut up, because it gets caught on, like, this has got, I mean, that duck worked its way almost to its body.
Yeah.
And this little turtle down on the bottom, it must have gotten caught when it was just a baby turtle. And then as it grew, it actually, you know, embedded itself in the shell of the turtle. So I figured, since we're talking about some pollution things, those are two things that are really easy. Just cut your little plastic from your 6-pack can plastic, so you don't have the holes for animals to get in, and tear the ends off your mask.
Yeah, because, you know, I never really thought about it. I did use, you know, I still do, you know, cut the can tops. And because I saw that image, they showed it out in Galveston, actually, over here in Texas, where we're not far from the beach from Houston. And they would show these birds, whether it be, you know, seagulls or ducks or whatever, they get stuck in them. And ever since then, I've been cutting, but I never thought about masks being the same way. Now I do have the throwaway ones, but I use the ones that we can wash, but never thought about, oh, let's cut it and then throw it away if I do have something like that.
Yeah,
so,
I only saw it last week, and I was like, what? I never thought about it either. There goes somebody that lives in my house down the stairs. So anyway, we just wanted to give you guys something hands-on to do with your kids that's fun, you know, because now you can eat the ice cream.
There are some other projects that you can do that are a little bit more edible. This was interesting. Mine tasted like, you know, lime, but it does give a good example of what it's going to look like here. You know, we do have a lot of whales out here in Texas. Growing up, you know, I would always find them, and kids would always dump stuff in there to make it. And, you know, my dad was always on, nope, you got to think about where this water's going.
And us.
Yeah. It comes back to us. Don't do that. You know. And then the aquifers, you know, to think about when, you know, sometimes the littlest things that you don't think of really can harm, you know, the earth that affects us in return. So that is a good thing to think about. It's a good project. It's a family circle project to do with your kids. It's simple, it's easy. And then afterwards, you know, have a float, an ice cream float.
Yeah, have a float or just do the ice cream, you know.
I mean, that's what this is all about. I mean, if you have some other creative, you know, projects that cost you maybe just $1 to do that you've been doing at home, please share with us. I mean, it would be great to know because there are a lot of families who are now, like Shea was saying, homeschooling, distance learning. I know a lot of schools were reopening here, but it's good to have these extra projects because sometimes you just need to step away from the screen and let the kids kind of do something fun, but they're learning at the same time. And it's something simple, especially when it's about the environment.
Yep. And doing something hands-on uses multiple parts of your brain so that it kind of really cements that knowledge in. And now they know about the aquifer and pollution. So enjoy. I hope you guys have fun with your families. You can do something fun to do this weekend or next week or file it away for future use. I wish you guys, you know, the safest of times with crazy weather going on,
especially
COVID
here in Texas.
Everything mentally, physically. We hope you guys are safe and take a break with your family and hug your loved ones. Thanks everybody for joining us today.
Yes, thank you for joining us on the show. I hope this project's helped everybody. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, be in good spirits. Thanks for watching My Child, My Voice, Parent Connection show. Until then, we will see you on Monday.